Bay, Sauti Soul there with Ali Kiba, smoking it up.
Smoking it
And
up.
it's about 11 minutes after the hour, 7 o'clock on this Manic Monday. Your last tweets coming in so thick, so fast.
Thank you so much, everybody who's tuned in. Welcome to the second hour. Moses keeping a teacher. See you. I said, last you were in my county.
In my county.
Ungesalimia Towet, my last born.
You know who Towet is?
I know.
Senator.
Ogidi.
Yeah, Naito Towet.
Wow. Hey,
The
Towet,
last born.
The last born. Towet.
How was Baringo?
Wow, amazing, beautiful place, but very dry. Really? Very, very dry. I think it has not rained there for a very long time.
Is that right?
So they stretch all the way, but you feel there's a bit of life around Kabarak. Kabarak, that stretch where the stretch, you know that stretch?
Yes, of course I do. Beautiful.
As you go down Kampia Moto,
Yes.
down all the way to the junction at Mogotio, then
Mogotio.
just life stops. I don't know how that works. I don't know.
I think David Osiani agrees with you.
There's something about Baringo that is very strange.
Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Looking very sharp, eh?
Of course, yes.
Watu wanatafuta kazi siku hizi, eh?
Osiani, for as long as I've known Osiani,
Yes.
dressing well has never been a question.
It's a lifestyle.
No, it's almost a default setting for him. It's a default setting, and but he cleans up.
He does, eh?
He cleans up.
We are waiting for Gabriel Muthuma, who seems to be busy on Citizen Television right now. Unamwona?
Yes, he's still there.
Lyrical Luko.
But with David alone,
Yeah, we can.
but I would not want Muduma to come here. Following the humiliation that he was put through the last time here, he could not defend anything that he was saying. It was a very sad state we really did put him here,
Yes.
which I wouldn't like him to come because there's nothing for him to say.
He can come and show us his bright tie.
He can't tell us why the president has not named
And cabinet.
the cabinet.
He
He
can't
can't
tell
tell
us
us how people are being sacked and being given jobs
He can't-
without what Raila was actually saying at the coast.
He can't tell us why Polycarp resigned.
He
Can't.
He can't.
He calls himself an insider.
So
Inside what?
Inside without. It's called inside without.
David Osiani.
Welcome, sir.
Let's go straight to the swearing in, which is in about a week's time. Eh?
Yeah.
Today's the 22nd?
Yes.
8 days away.
And have you seen the planned preambles to the swearing in?
Yes.
I've already kicked on very, very well with the coast over the weekend.
Coast was huge.
Mammoth of crowds coming out to see. In short, NASA have just taken us back again to the
Campaigns
campaigns and the political. No, what?
It's just too
No,
much.
no,
Jalas.
don't,
People are exhausted.
Who is exhausted?
Were you there?
Who was
You were
it?
busy baringoing.
No.
You were busy baringoing. Why weren't you in Mombasa?
The long stretch to Canaan. In the Bible alone, it took over 400 years. We are still
I thought
here
it
to
was 40.
400, my friend.
Which Bible were you reading?
Page 38 of Genesis. We are here just barely 4 months and you're already tired. Look at this one. Freedom is not for the weak at heart, my friend.
David Osiani, tell us, is this swearing in happening or not?
No, I need to let the listeners know that the Israelites who left Egypt were in the wilderness for 40 years. But they were in Egypt for 430 years.
Oh, this is the mistake. This is the, confusion.
But even whether they were 40 years or 400, you can't be tired in 4 months. You can't be tired.
That's your point.
Yes, you should not be tired with this fight for freedom.
Well, I've spoken about this times upon number. I do not think, and I still hold this as my absolute truth, I do not think that the former Prime Minister is under any illusion that he will take state power come the 30th. However, I understand as a student of literature that symbolism is one of the most powerful tools for communicating. What the former Prime Minister wants to do, or the NASA leader, is, in my opinion, just a symbolism of, you know what, we have rejected you. We are going our way. And you know, the government may say, well, let's call the bluff. Let's leave him to swear in. And then what the next day? Essentially, that's what draws me to asking that both the president and the former prime minister, the NASA leader, climbed down to a point of negotiation. There are different interests at play. As it were, you have seen that there's been rumors about an infighting, some refuting, grandstanding, others saying no, it won't happen, because interests at some point diverge. When they converge, it's good.
Yeah.
When they diverge, they weaken the parties. If at all the rumors as are being stated are anything to go by, then we have a problem.
Yeah.
And essentially, therefore, I would still admonish, request, and ask President Uhuru Kenyatta to do what I saw George Weah do when he had won the election. You know, when George Weah had won the runoff, he took time, went to the house of the gentleman who'd run against him, the former vice president, and told him, listen, guy, this is over. We are up to building the nation. I know losing is not a very nice thing, but we are up to building the nation. And so give me the people who you think carry your dream of a better nation so that they can serve in my government. That's what George Weah did.
No.
Now, if George Oppong Weah, who's the president of Liberia, which is a country that does far worse than ours, could do that, nothing whatsoever stops President Uhuru Kenyatta from humbling himself. Show up at Raila's home. You guys are friends. Go to Capitol Hill. Tell him, you know what, Chief? Let's leave this whole hula-baloo around swearing in. Let's work for the nation. I know it's not a very nice thing to lose an election. Of course, as David Osiaga hold it, that on the 26th, the absconding the 26th election was a huge mistake. Be it as it may, it's a mistake that happened, and we are still on the 8th. And so Raila is making a very serious statement. He's saying, guys, there was electoral malpractice. And we have to agree. It must count for something that the elections of the 8th were nullified by the Supreme Court. Definitely, there were problems.
Yeah.
So he's not speaking out of the heavens, and he's trying to secure the future. That elections in this country must be able to count, regardless of who counts the vote.
Absolutely.
The vote must count.
Osiani, is it true that former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo had tried or made a call or was in town? I'm not sure. He's trying to mediate between these two. Did you hear that story?
Well, I heard about that story. I heard that Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, had sent him as a special envoy to come and broker a deal between these two guys. I read that the president rejected the offer. He said, you know what, guy, I'm not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
And so he went back, having just seen his good friend, Raila Odinga.
Yeah.
But that is why when I read things like that, because I think you ought to give dialogue a chance. Listen to your enemy. I think a lot of these guys read too much 48 Laws of Power. It doesn't work like that always. I would prescribe other books. Top of it, the Bible. There is nothing you will read in 48 Laws of Power. There is nothing you will read in Paul Coelho's, the light of the warrior, or this, there is nothing you will read in these books that you won't find in the Bible.
Or the Machiavellian.
All the politics, all the Machiavellian.
The prince.
Whatever it is.
Don't go too deep. I'm also in this.
So
conversation.
the 30th is coming.
Yes.
But it's entirely upon these two leaders to decide what they want for the country.
Are we dancing with trouble, David? Are we dancing with...
Oh, man. We are certainly terribly dancing on a precipice. And we may kid with this, but we may topple and fall irredeemably. It's what we must avoid. We are courting trouble. We do not know how the rest of the country will perceive the 30th.
Yeah.
And one may be dismissive entirely, but this is an angry nation. An angry nation cannot be let loose. We are tired. Jeff, we cannot afford just to have calm but no peace. What we have is calm.
Yeah.
We are not fighting on the streets.
Right.
That's calm. But there is no peace inside.
It's an uneasy calm.
It's a terribly uneasy calm.
Yeah.
That is deep.
It's
We
very
have
deep.
Come,
But we have no peace.
Yeah.
wow.
And come
this-
the 30th, nobody's been down this road.
Exactly.
And when you see the crowds in Mombasa, you saw the crowds.
Yeah, just tells you one thing: people are not tired.
They're not
And
tired.
they're still listening.
That
They're
anger
still
is,
listening,
it's
and
easy to stoke that anger. It's easy to reignite it. And the 30th may play whichever way.
Osiani, why is Jubilee being so, what's the word?
Hardlined.
Hardlined is a good word. Yeah. Why?
No, I guess it gets back to interest. All right. So it may be that the president is willing to negotiate, but the people around him are not willing to negotiate because they have
hawks.
stakes, in the coming
hawks.
years. And essentially, this is why Uhuru Kenyatta must drop everybody and go and meet Raila, ambush Raila without Raila having his foot soldiers who are also hardliners, and talk as big brothers. And, in the glare of camera, tell the guys, you know what, guys, we have come to a point of agreement that this is the way we are going to handle stuff.
Yeah.
So,
It's-
until that is done,
Yes.
we are playing with the 30th, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And someone's just sneaked in from Citizen Television. Like,
Ain't
you know,
nothing happening. What up, folks?
the noise has returned. By the way,
Those come here.
Gabriel Muthuma,
up, Jalas?
Jalas has a message for you right now.
You see, today there was really no need of having you here. And I'd said the longer you take on TV, would have been better because you don't have so many answers for so much.
Yeah. We ask you questions, you don't have answers. Why did Polycarp resign?
He
You have no
doesn't
answer.
answer. Why has
a cabinet not been named? You have no answer.
Do we have swearing or not?
Oh,
Why-
do we have swearing? Jalas, you've not asked that.
Are
You've
we
not
going
asked me
to
that
have to
question.
a swearing?
There
of-
will not be a swearing in, period. I'm giving you straight, honest answers.
And you
Is
walked
that
in
an
when
answer?
you were just talking about how Jubilee are hardliners
Yes.
and have refused.
Who's the hardline? What do you mean Jubilee hardline?
Olusegun Obasanjo was in town,
to talk
Gabriel.
Forget Obasanjo.
You see,
Jeff,
forget
listen,
Obasanjo.
Listen,
Baba.
Article 3, and Osiani is here, of our Constitution, talks about respect and defending the Constitution. What are you people talking about? And then you tell me there is a swearing in. The people, the proponents, the same guys who said, we brought this Constitution. In fact, Jubilee did not want this Constitution. We brought this Constitution. Now, your attack line is by disrespecting that Constitution. What swearing in are you talking about? There's no swearing in, and that's constitutional. All right? You cannot tell me, Jeff, we are going to get out of the confines of the Constitution to make something right. And by the way, we are talking about, because this is what is being pushed out there, we are talking about electoral reforms.
Okay.
Who is best suited to talk about electoral
Gabriel.
Yes.
The 30th is next Wednesday.
Yeah.
You saw the rally in Mombasa yesterday.
I've seen rallies in Mombasa bigger than what I saw yesterday. Bigger rallies in Machakos. We've been told this is, I think, the third swearing-in date we are being given. So really, who's to take it serious?
So you say it's not happening?
That's not happening. And by the way,
Uhuru Park has-
Uhuru Park has been booked by two
By
people at
Moses
church.
Korea and the
the
business.
Nairobi
Nairobi
business.
business community.
Will be.
And by the way, if they were serious, at all serious, remember there was a time they had a meeting and Kidero came out and showed us a receipt rather that they had paid, and they were walking to go to Uhuru Park. This time they've not done that. All right, why? Because it's a secondary thing on their calendar. No, it's not a secondary. It's a secondary thing. The first one is what Kalonzo is talking about. You must meet.
Yeah, he's insisting.
You must meet with these guys. Otherwise, the swearing in. Otherwise, which means, Jeff, the swearing in is a secondary event.
David Osiani, why is Kalonzo being so extremist, if you will?
Obtuse. If you
Oh, what a word.
Obtuse. Yeah.
He is saying, unless we meet, we're swearing in.
Of course. It's secondary.
Why? Kalonzo...
No, I mean, that statement essentially just means we are giving dialogue a chance.
But
Will you listen to what we have to say? Or will you, like Gabriel Muthuma, just entirely remain dismissive of what we want to talk about? We have things that we think we need to suggest to find a middle ground and see whether we can all agree that this is a problem and this is a problem, and that if we talk about the 8th, this was a problem and this has to be fixed. Kalonzo speaks as someone who is intending to run in 2022.
No doubt. No doubt.
All right?
Yes.
And Mudavadi may be running in 2022. And Wetangula harbors the hope of running in 2022. It is thus in their best interest to try and fix this now, rather than being thrown into the corner and being told, you know what, we've moved on, let's move on, take a token here, a token there. That's not the way it works, because these people have their ambitions at stake. So it transcends Raila, and that's why Kalonzo may be that hardliner. And heck, who knows? Even Raila may run in 2022, who knows?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He'll be running.
So I think it is in the country's best interest to listen to NASA today. Listen to them when they say, you know what? On the 8th, these are the things that happened that we refuted. On that basis, we did not involve ourselves in the election of the 26th, which, as I said earlier, I think that was a mistake. To not get into the 26th election was a mistake, because they would have a lot more stake in what, you know, in the goings on of the 26th, go to court and say, we went back to the election, the same problems, you know, were exhibited, and because you, Justice DK Maraga, promised us that if the same happens, you will nullify these results. But now, if you're not party to it, then you have no say. Now, since they anchor their grief on the 8th of August election, legitimately so, we have to listen to them.
Gabriel, should Jubilee engage NASA? Should they engage them in any way and say, look, okay, we've agreed, let's talk, but let's talk in June, July. I mean, let's not do it now. Let's do it in June, July. Let's have a good, massive conference.
But they, Jeff and Jalas, do you know, even as we are here, Jubilee and NASA are engaging. The problem is we only want to see Raila and Uhuru engaging. But truth of the matter is, Jubilee, NASA and other parties are in constant engagement through a house called Parliament. People are engaging. People are talking. Don't be cheated. All right? Just the other day, they went through an entire charade of electing Iala MPs.
What do you mean charade?
I mean, the pushing and pulling, my good friend Norman Magaya, I'm sorry.
And Simon Bogwa?
Exactly. Well, what is that? Anyway.
I mean, when you look at the Iala story,
yes.
it's the saddest.
Exactly.
Our country has sent
So,
the worst.
Can you imagine?
Go to Rwanda. They have sent former ministers, both of them doctorate holders. Go to even Uganda and Tanzania.
And this
look
Jeff,
at the quality
and this
of
Jeff,
human beings sent to that parliament.
And us.
and Jalas,
then
this
as
was
we have
a unity.
Purim Toaburi and Mbugwa.
This was
All
a
right.
unit. This was a unity. This was a purpose. Both coalitions, they sat down
And
this is what
agreed on this.
dialogue. Jeff, people are talking. People are discussing. Kenya has always been dialoguing. I think the thing on the table, and my good friend Osiani will agree with me, is that the issue where we seem to find a lot of pushing and pulling is on the electoral reforms. And we had started in a good way. What if my suggestion has been, Jeff, take the irreducible minimums that NASA had, combine them with the reforms that Jubilee had. And you remember the last time we were talking about this topic, we were asking ourselves, were these new addendums, were they fortifying this process? So that's the discussion we should have. And it's not me and you to have this discussion. It should be in Parliament. Why are we so afraid? And this is what I keep posing to NASA. Why are they afraid to take this to the floor of the House? Because, by the way, that's where the Hansard will capture this, Jeff.
They don't
it
have-
should never. Look at what we did last time. The Hassan-led commission. A political legal bypass. Did it not backfire? It did. All right? And if we are taking serious strides of what Johansson Kriegler told us, 24 months, all systems should have been a go. And by the way, guess who was left that blueprint? It wasn't Uhuru and Ruto. No. It was Moi Kibaki and Honorable Raila Odinga. They had that blueprint. You tell me, why did it not happen then? Why should it be an issue now? And yesterday in Mombasa, I had Raila talking, and he's saying, if we have not solved the issues of 2017, there will be no elections in 2022.
Which is a fact.
All right?
There will be no elections.
There will be an apocalypse.
I would. I mean,
What?
It's not
what? Health or does it matter?
I do not know the place I would give him, but Bonnie brings some element of commitment. I'm not saying he cannot do it. He brings a lot of commitment in it. I know other people within Nyanza, people like James Reggae, people who are known, who've done great works, well, within the ICT fraternity. And again, just to mention, just because he said Midio, I'm not dissing on Midio. The man has a good side, in him. And if the president so chooses, why not?
Okay,
Why
Gabriel,
not?
why the delay in cabinet appointments? What's the delay?
I actually just made this. I discussed this point and I asked, this is what I asked. As a maybe, what if the president just realizes, hang on a minute, I don't even need these 22 cabinets. I only need 10.
Can't be.
It can never happen.
Hang on a minute. Don't say it cannot happen.
It can never
What if he
happen.
just says, I don't need all the 22?
So the office of the
I
president
only need-
runs health?
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. I have somebody like Amatiangi. Look at what Matiangi has done. Probably when he was in shadowing, he was in education, shadowing interior. And he seemed to get his hands. He overreached everything.
Yeah.
What if we just get 15 super CSs?
To do what? Two portfolios each?
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
He
15.
just realizes-
Why has he not named the
he,
6 then?
he just realizes I don't need all of them. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is the man has his game plan. Allow him to follow it through. Because what we are trying to tell him is you need to move like this. And this is the funny thing about Kenyans. Our patience, man. I don't even think we have that. I don't even think we have it anymore.
Gabriel.
What we are saying here, the manner in which everybody is talking about these CS positions, you have to name them, you have to name them. I keep asking myself, why are we pushing? In 2013, he first named 3. And then moved on to name another 3.
After 5 days.
What is the hurry? What if he takes until August to name them, all of them?
Well-
And by the way, Jeff, you tell me here and now, which office is vacant?
Well,
we are talking as if there's nothing going on.
It's not
in
a
these
matter of
ministries.
vacancy, but like Jalas was saying earlier on this morning, the incentive is not there. You're going to work and you're uncertain that you have a job at the end of the week.
You see,
So your whole attitude changes.
it's me and you
towards
who
the
do
work.
not know. But if you
No,
go,
Gabriel.
just the other day, did you not see Amina fly out with the president to South Africa?
Of course, yes, she's still working.
She is. That is it, Jeff. They are still in office. They are still in office.
But working.
Gabriel, you must learn to analyze text. When the
No.
president says, relax, when
Yeah.
the president says in his speech, I have retained the following 6.
Yes.
Then you
Meaning
must decipher that
retained.
for what it is. You can't keep hoping that he has retained the others too.
That's
yes.
not
When
what
he
I'm
hasn't
hoping.
said it.
That is not what I'm
Gabriel,
saying.
So,
listen to
you're
the man.
saying,
No,
saying
this
that
guy's-
there are no offices that are empty. They are not empty per se, but they are empty in their own way. Because guys have
Now,
reported to
what
work.
kind of explanation is that? They are not
Because
empty
the
per se,
13,
but
the
they are empty
13
in a
that
way.
were not
I mean, this is what I'm
retained. Listen, wacha kelele kwanza. The 13 that were told to report to work
Yes.
were told to report to work until the cabinet is entirely put together.
Yes.
They do not know whether they'll be part of it. They cannot even execute their mandates well because they are unsure. Am I going to stay in? Why was I not in the first list? Why am I out? And all these things happen. And for as long as this continues, we just keep hanging in the balance.
Osiani,
There isn't even the money in government
to
to say they have retained only 6.
Listen, that means even those that were named, the president can change his mind. We saw.
Oh, Gabriel.
One, no.
Gabriel.
Why are we not? Stop saying Gabriel. Why are we
Right
not
now we
here?
ha- we are so
when-
certain.
Why are we not here when the late Gaiseri was brought from ODM
Sure.
to?
We
He
were
wasn't
Okay.
fired thereafter. He took
Were
over
we
because
not-
Saitoti died.
Were we not here
No,
when
Olelenku was removed.
Kazungu in mining was taken from ODM
No.
and given
No.
brought to
No.
CS?
No. Kazungu was part of URP.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Kazungu was one of the foot soldiers of Omingo Magara running on URP in 2013. Yes, Kazungu was.
You see,
Listen, Gabriel. Okay, answer one question. Amina, who you said accompanied the president to South Africa, we saw that, the whole thing. Is she going to be retained?
I do not know, but I hope she is. And the reason why I'm saying this is, you see, Jeff.
But she could have been one of the six. She could have been.
One of the Uhuru six.
Yes.
Jalas,
It was almost a given.
Correct.
Jalas, what I don't want us to do is this over speculation. In fact, it's not doing us any good. We are over speculating on CSs, fully well knowing that it's the president who has the prerogative to say, this is the person on my team. The man wants to leave a legacy. The man has a lot of work to do. And he says, these are the people that I want to join with me, to ensure that I'm able.
All we can do is speculate.
Exactly.
Gabriel. We have
So-
no
And it
choice.
is no sin.
This
There's
over
no
speculation. You see, the guy is holding my neck here to over speculate that there's a mistake. There's nothing wrong
Which
with the way
mistake?
things are.
Okay.
No, you are insinuating
Okay, but
as if there's a
it's
mistake.
taking long.
It doesn't matter, Jeff.
No, it
The man,
does.
the man
Why-
is on
why-
his second
It
term.
does.
He
It
wants a
does.
legacy. He wants to go to work. He wants this team of his to.
What if the balancing will take
3 months
longer?
are gone already, mate.
What if the balance will take? What if it will take longer? Unless you're telling me there's something that will be missing. This process is not flawed. Let's not treat it as if there's a problem.
Gabriel, you're speaking as though you don't know that Kenyatta National Hospital has just had allegations and accusations about its security, and women being raped, and mothers giving birth to their newborns, leaving them on ground floor, staying on third floor in the meantime, and we do not even have a substantive CS for health.
Yeah.
Have you been
Okay?
to,
And you're
by the
telling
way-
me this is fine, that
by
3
the way-
months, 3 months can go by, wasted. There is nothing going on, Gabriel. Not a single thing. Apart from the president traveling for his business, the ministries are at a halt. The constituencies have not as much as even received their CDF. The counties just received their salaries. Now,
see.
these are facts.
That's
Now,
that's
if
political
this-
doublespeak because
No,
you're talking about
no.
an issue. You're talking about a security issue at KNH, where the police should be involved, where the county government should be involved. Hang on
No,
a minute.
KNH is not under the county
No,
government.
I am saying
it is under the national government.
Correct.
They have so much. Remember, the hospitals, and this is what we were discussing yesterday. I probably, for lack of a better word, the artery hospitals that second people to Kenyatta hospitals.
Yeah.
They are county hospitals. All right. So county comes in indirectly.
But
in
did
this
the
matter,
the
Jeff.
CS for Health comment on this?
They can't
I
because
saw
there's
him.
no substantive CS.
I saw him. I saw him a
You
little
saw him
bit.
where?
I mean, he talked very little about the issues at
Correct.
KNH.
Correct.
But
Because he's
you see-
unsure of his job.
It's
Yeah.
not. You
Why
can't say
try
he's
so
unsure.
hard?
You can't say he's unsure. There are so many. I mean, we have management at Kenya National Hospital. We have leaders who came out, the likes of Sakaja and all other,
Yes.
the women rep. They are the women actually who came in to support this initiative and see what they can do. I mean, it's not as if we have a government shutdown like it's happening in the U.S. All right, and we have to give credence to that, Jeff. These manenos of, Ocean is trying to whip emotions here by saying, oh, there's something happening in there. We had an issue on our roads. That didn't mean we didn't have a CS of transport.
Well, he's still there.
He's still there.
He's
But
part
we're
of
still
the
having
six.
issues.
He's among the
We are
six.
talking about, exactly. So, in fact, that nullifies what you're trying to say. We have a CS in, and you're also saying that Nairobi Hospital, what is happening at
Gabriel.
Kenyatta National Hospital, should not be happening because
How
there's
did
no
we end
CS.
up with
I mean,
policies that ban
yeah, it's-
matatus, which is wrong entirely? But how
You
did
see,
we end up with those policies
No,
if
it's
there
like
is no CS?
you're-
Because there's a CS
you're-
who's trying to intervene.
You're
How did we-
firefighting everywhere. It's like you're saying this CS is here, we are not
Guys.
having problems. This CS is not here, we are having problems. Jeff, it continues. All right, it continues. The issues we are talking about continue, whether they are CSS or no CSS. What we should be talking about here is how to mitigate these risks. I'm liking the fact that we are talking involving the police at Kenya National Hospital. I'm liking the fact that we are calling for the women who have gone through these atrocities to come forward and write reports. I mean, and that's the encouragement I'm hearing from everybody. They are saying, if something has happened to you at KNH, come out,
Guys,
bring it
let's
to the
agree.
open.
Let's agree.
Yeah.
And Gabriel wants to play intellectually dumb, yet I know he's a very brilliant guy. He's trying to act as though he doesn't know that the CS is the policy lead
Thank you.
for every ministry.
Yes.
And that although he has able people down there, their job is as null and void unless the CS, who ought to be a visionary person, he's put there to run the policy. He is the one to amend some of these things. That is how Matiang'i has done so much with education, because he gripped and said, you know what, I am going to move this forward. And so essentially, some of these things may not be met. There would be not even a single person to coordinate what he's saying. Oh, bring police, bring county, bring akuna. There must be the guy who sanctions this and then says, you know what, let's move this way. Who will sit down with Boynet as an equal and say, you know, let's figure out how are we going to do this. Until the CS is substantively in office, it is work in vain. And I have a special respect for philosophy. Aristotle declares nature abhors vacuum.
Absolutely.
You see,
absolutely.
and as much as I agree with you on that,
Gabriel, but you also agree that you're acting dumb.
No, never. You see, Jeff, what I
It's
don't
being
want-
intellectually
listen,
dishonest.
It's not intellectual dishonesty, Jeff. What I want us to run away from
No, never.
is this issues one of speculating. And by the way, I am not treating it lightly. The happenings that, or what we are told happening, is happening at Kenyatta National Hospital. You remember the cancer patient who was stabbed 47, times.
Cancer machines have not been working.
But when we talk about devolving healthcare, and I had a hard time with that, devolving healthcare. This is an area, Jeff, we all agree, must deal with it in a serious and a sober manner. When you're talking about the hospitals that refer people to Kenyatta National Hospital, I believe, honestly, there are some issues that are in Kenyatta right now that should have been dealt at the county hospitals. And I think, Oceani, you'll agree with me on that.
I
So
concur.
we need to work out, when it comes to policy, we need to find out what policy can we put in place so that we know that somebody does not just wake up and run to Kenyatta National Hospital, because I also feel that is part of the problem. It becomes only a referral hospital, and being the only one, I mean, the major referral hospital we have, people have claimed it's East and Central Africa. We need to be alive to these facts. So are we failing on the policy part? And if that is and if that area we are falling, this is not an issue, to be taken lightly. And I will agree when Oceani says that, when it comes to policy making in matters of health, that is something we take seriously. I agree with him on that. So as we build this consensus, as we build this narrative, can we just ensure it is filtered through to the county level so that we do not have the traffic that we are seeing in KNH? Jeff, if you go to KNH on any given day, the traffic there,
it's madness.
No, I'm
And
just
there's-
sad that there's never been even an expansion of KNH.
Imagine.
Which means President Uhuru Kenyatta needs to fire whoever was in health. But I don't want to reduce this into a KNH discussion. We were talking other things.
Right.
But just so that I put a few things into perspective, Gabriel opines that we ought to revert the health functions to the national government, which I wouldn't appreciate. Devolution has to work. It works when it is enabled to work. The devolution runs on a fuel called money. Money being devolved and taken to the ground. There are hospitals and people who should, I agree, not be at Kenyatta Hospital. Essentially because the district or sub-county hospitals that they ought to have relied on do not even have equipment. They do not have equipment, not because the governors are incompetent. In some cases, yes, the governors are incompetent. In others, it's just because there are no resources for that function. Now, look at what Kivuta Kibwana has done. The first governor to implement the universal healthcare policy that allows these people to pay 5 or 1,000 shillings for a whole year, but he equips the hospital and tells them for that 1,000 a whole year, you don't need to pay any other thing. Walk into any hospital. You're insured. We will pay for it. And there are drugs stocked there. Now, there are other governors who ought to learn from this. But the bottom line is, unless we get the CS Health, and that's why the president must hurry to now appoint his cabinet fully so that we can move on. Money is not there. Some of these functions have stagnated. They have stagnated because the people who should follow through are asking themselves, am I retained? Am I thrown out? I'm going to be the ambassador to Lebanon
or Kazakhstan.
And by the way, just so you know, remember still PSS also have a huge work when it comes to accountability and also matters policy.
Yeah, and they too are going to be appointed afresh.
So, Jeff, and again, I really don't want it to take another tangent, like you said, but probably where you're getting me wrong, Oceani, is that when you mention something to do with devolution and the fact that you're devolving healthcare. By the way, let me tell you, I am an avid supporter of devolution.
Fantastic.
My only worry was and has been, Jeff, are we able to make this, realize the big dream that we want for healthcare in this country?
Look
what
what Osiani just said. Look at Kifuda.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We have examples.
And the other
Incredible
places,
stuff.
I mean, also Machakos.
Machakos as
The
well.
level 5 hospital. Amazing. Look at Nyeri when you go.
No,
There's a-
guys,
there-
don't
there's
mix issues here. Machakos is a painted hospital. There's a difference between
By the way,
delivering and
hang on a minute.
transforming
Can I tell you
lives
something? Can I tell you
and
something?
painting the
I know
hospital. Hii
people-
drama
Can I tell you
wacha.
something?
Forget the
Slow down.
PR.
I know people who have traveled all the way from Thika to Machakos. People have engaged.
That's another man who wants to be president in 22.
So,
Well, far-fetched
So
dream,
anyway-
but he'll be a deputy to one of the candidates. Who
Jeff
won't
and
make it.
Osiani and Jalas, the point I'm trying to make is this. Health, we know. Health, we recognize it.
Yeah.
And we should, all of us, recognize this as one of the facets.
Okay.
That, that
Real quick, as we wind up, Gabriel and Osiani, if you had the president's ear right now, what's top of your priority list? One thing.
Well, you see, the president has already named his big four.
Big four. I thought it was 6.
His big four. There are 4. Not the CSs, the big 4. When you're talking about infrastructure, food security. And I think that is among the places that would start. One, I think he's done very well and it's ongoing.
Who are the
Because
big 4?
Education and food security. I think that is where, economy will come in as we still move along. But getting
those
it
feed into
right,
the economy.
getting it right into education, it right in food security. You cannot govern a hungry nation. So food security is one thing.
Yeah.
Even before we talk lower cost housing, I think we can make by.
And Galana Kulalu is still being talked about as, it still hasn't kicked in, still hasn't quite worked.
And that is why now I would hope devolution will come in and help. Imagine this, Jeff. What if 13 or 10 more counties replicate Galana Kulalu? That's the mindset Kenyans. That's the kind of mindset we should walk in when you're talking about food security. So if I was to tell the president, man, make this your legacy. Kibaki head roads. Try and make this education and food security. I mean, I know he's come to 4. So I'll tell him, if this is it, this dream must be sold to Kenyans. Let's fly with it.
Okay.
And it will work, Jeff.
David Osiani, you have 5 minutes with the president. What do you tell him?
Mr. President, first appoint Kenyans who are up to the task, who want a legacy for you. Don't appoint cronies who will let you down. Don't appoint people who are politically correct, who will be playing politics for 2022's sake. Look out for people who have the zeal and zest to deliver the 5 years mandate that you wish for. But make health the cornerstone of your government in this 5 years. Because Moi did with education, he takes credit for it largely. Of course, we may transform the syllabus, which is a big leap, and we have been able to curtail the cheating in exams, which is still great. But by and large, education was what Moi was known for. Roads is what Kibaki and Raila were known for. The SGR does not feed into the common man's life. Very few people use it. That is not an enough legacy. So get down to the bottom. Grab health. Besides agriculture, which is a good thing, don't leave every other thing. Do food security, do whatever you want, but grab health. Fix the health of this country. Let us have a healthy nation. A healthy nation is a working nation. When you fix that, you have a robust group of people who are willing to deliver on your other things, be it agriculture and food security. They will be able to learn how to grab one, focus on it, and deliver it ruthlessly, so that when you walk out, if for nothing else, everyone may forget everything, but they will say, you delivered on this. But while you do that, ensure you have able people, young, middle-aged, old alike, women and men from all the parts of this country, take them in and tell them, here is my vision. Be like Barack Obama, who took people who shared his vision, who looked across even to the Republicans and said, I guess that person is moderate enough to lend into my vision. and pick them. That way, 5 years down the line, as people will be talking politics, who becomes president in 2022, some of us will be celebrating a president who was able to mend the country and deliver for the nation.
And tell them not to worry, the swearing ain't happening. No swearing ain't taking place.
Talk to Raila Odinga, fix the nation first.
You can't talk to Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga does not want to talk.
Uhuru Kenyatta, talk to Raila Odinga. Listen to me. I know you're listening to us.
Yes,
So
he is.
talk to Raila Odinga.
To say hi.
David Osiani, Gabriel Mutuba. You guys.
The last one suggested.
No,
Jalas.
let's see. Osiani has spoken to
Yes.
the president.
Yes, directly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Talk to-
Mutuma did it. He did it.
No, I want him to speak to Raila Odinga. now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Rao. Oh. And you know, he called in last time. Rao, I think you missed me. I had just walked out of studio. But, man, you know, this country, and I know I know Raila loves this country. The only problem, I think, you know, he has people, hardliners who are surrounding him, the likes of Meguna and David D. When I call them foolish and stupid, I am not insulting them. It is actually a state of existence in their life at this point. They don't want to see you succeed. What you need to do is to rubbish them. Kick them out. He's a peace-loving Kenyan. Kalonzo is a peace-loving Kenyan. The problem with you surrounding yourself with hardliners is because they want to get the credit, and thereafter they'll point fingers at you. By the way, Miguna, I can know. No, I know very well. And Osiani probably, I want Osiani to know this while he's seated here. Miguna is just looking to write his third book, and he's looking for content. Don't give it to him. As a peace-loving Kenyan, you have
Miguna is an
grandchildren.
objective Kenyan.
You have...
He's a what?
He's
Stop
generally an
joking,
objective.
man.
Miguna is one of the people.
No, I'm
who
still
stood
talking
on
to
We are
Baba.
done.
Baba, listen to
We are
me.
done here.
Baba, listen to me. Don't listen to those guys. Don't listen to those
Have
guys.
a good day
You have
and a
grandkids
blessed
Mr.
in
President,
country.
this is up to you.
You have
Leave
grandchildren
Gabriel.
in
Listen.
Play music. Play music.
This is what
Switch
we.
off.
This is what we call
Yes,
candid interviews.
with decision.
Candid interviews with decision makers. It's the Hot Breakfast with Jeff and Jalango.